This is the Bulls Digital Network UB Basketball Insider.
Brought to you by our Team UB partners, New Era Cap, Town BMW, Nike, AdPro Sports, WGRZ Channel 2, Pepsi, and ComDoc. And in part by Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill and A-Turf.
Now, here's Brian Wolf.
Good afternoon from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. I am Brian Wolf, joined by the head coach of the UB Bulls, Nate Oates. And we're talking to Coach on what is a 3-game winning streak right now. We'll talk about all 3 of those games as we were not on the air last week. But let's start with the most recent one, a 65-45 win against the Northern Illinois Huskies on Tuesday night at Alumni Arena. Coach, maybe your best defensive performance of the season.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you we've been talking to our guys about points per possession. It's probably the easiest way to really tell, how good you're playing. It kind of includes everything: field goal percentage, steals, rebounds, the whole deal. That was our lowest defensive points per possession that we've seen yet this year. So, we did a good job. I think our defense is coming. We're playing hard on defense. Our offense took a little bit of a step backwards in that game, but they're a really good defensive team themselves, so they're going to make it difficult on you. But yeah, I was proud with it, especially in the second half. We really stepped it up, and our defense was great, and our offense kind of picked it up there in the second half.
How hard is, in the first half, you allowed them to 25 points altogether. It was 4 points in the first 12 minutes, but the offense just kind of wasn't clicking in the first half. How hard is it as a coach and as a coaching staff to continue to get those guys to play that hard on the defensive end, knowing that the offense will start to come, and it did there in the second half?
You know what, we can talk about it, and I think the guys have figured it out. We dropped a couple non-conference, even a couple in the conference that we really shouldn't have dropped because we did let our offense affect our defense a little bit. Nobody wants to lose. We've had to have too many close ones that we dropped, so I think guys really, if you can learn from the losses, it's good. Losing's never fun. You never want to do it, but sometimes it takes a loss or two or, a few to learn some lessons. Hopefully they learn the lessons, and our effort on the defensive end's been pretty good here lately. So, we just keep talking about, let's not go back there. Let's not have to learn the same lessons over and over again. Come on, we got to give better effort on defense, and then we can make the adjustments. As long as the effort's high, I think we're pretty tuned in. The coaching staff's pretty in sync with each other. Got pretty good chemistry on what we're looking for and what adjustments to make. So we just got to make sure the guys give us really good effort, and I think we can make the adjustments we need to as the game moves along.
One of the guys that got you going in the second half was C.J. Massenberg. He had 15 of his 17 points in the second half. What was C.J. able to do, in the second half there to kind of get you rolling offensively?
He hit a couple of those threes over there in the corner. He kind of caught it ready to shoot. It was more his just he kind of got his confidence going. He kind of post-game press conference, it was interesting to hear him talk. Just kind of said he had some self-talk there with himself at halftime to get, he got to get himself going. I think that's part of what makes CJ so good. He can struggle and you can kind of jump him a little bit as a coach, and he handles it well because he's a pretty tough, pretty self-confident kid that can take criticism and actually make changes and not, take it personal. And then he just gets out and continues to play hard and then gets himself going. So, he's a kid you're always happy to see do well. And, he's been in the gym all the time. That stuff has to be rewarded. If you spend as much time in the gym as he does at night, and he comes up, meets Coach Hunter in later at night, gets shooting in just about every single night. So, it's going to pay off here. It's been paying off. He's starting to, hit his, hopefully he's starting to kind of hit his peak play here as we get to the end of the season.
Well, one of the other guys that had a big game, and he's had a lot of big games for you in a row, is Nick Perkins. He had 11 points and 12 rebounds off the bench, a role that he's starting to really feel comfortable in. He had over 20 points against Ball State. Talk about Nick's performance and really how he's been performing here the last week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
You know what? I think Nick's gotten himself some easier buckets inside. In some games his three's dropping, sometimes it's not, and when it's dropping, those are the games he ends up with 20 plus. When it's not, he still had the double-double. He didn't even hit a 3 last night, but, and he's been making his free throws. Again, he's another kid that comes in the gym all the time and works. Him and CJ are both in there together. A few weeks ago, I spent an hour or so with them just later in the afternoon after everybody's gone, trying to get his free throws straight, and we kind of redid his routine and fixed a couple things, and he's gone in there a lot on his own and worked on it, and he's shooting pretty well from the free throw line, so he's a lot more confident. He wants the contact. He's a big, strong kid. When you're going to go to the free throw line and make them, you want to get fouled. You're looking for the contact instead of avoiding it, and then now you can get some three-point plays, and he's running hard. He's rebounding. When he's rebounding well, I think he scores it better too, just because he gets to the offensive boards and gets some easy ones to get him going. He's playing well. We need him to play. We need him to keep playing well. I think all of our bigs, and he's a little bit more skilled on the offensive end to score it, but I think all of our bigs are giving us good effort on the glass, and defensive-wise, I think they're gotten a lot better. We've gotten a lot better guarding ball screens, and our bigs are a big part of that, and they've had some pretty tough assignments with some bigs here lately that they've done a pretty decent job on. So I'm pretty happy with our interior play as a whole right now.
David Gadiri, one of those guys, he's averaging eight points per game in conference play. He's really kind of stepped into that role as the starting five-man, and as you mentioned, there's some talented big men in the league. One of them was Marek from Northern Illinois, and those guys did a heck of a job on him on Tuesday.
Yeah, you know what? I think, Kadiri's been starting for us, and then we bring in, Raheem and Kenneth Smart both, and Perkins all come off the bench. Those are some really good size coming off the bench. And Kadiri, and they all give us something different. Kadiri's real quick, and Ken is a little stronger, and Raheem kind of gives you a little both. He's big and strong and pretty athletic, and he's got pretty good length to him. So they all give you a different look when they're guarding them. And between the three of them, and you throw Perkins in there at the 5, he plays more at the 4. But you can give guys fits in there. I think just with throwing different looks at him. And March really didn't get much. For them being their leading scorer, we kind of took him out of the game. He didn't even play a ton there when we were making some of our runs in the second half. So, and David's quick and can get around. He kind of fronts the post and makes it hard to get it in there. And, he's been playing hard. He keeps his attitude right. His mind's in the right spot. He plays hard. He works off our guards' drives to get some easy buckets for us and gives us good energy on both ends of the floor.
And one of the games he played well, again, also was this past Friday against Ball State, a game that was nationally televised on ESPNU. A Buffalo win of 96-69, a game in Muncie. It was a rematch of a game where the Cardinals took the home game at Alumni Arena earlier in January, and that was this past Friday maybe the most complete performance that you guys had all year.
Yeah, I agree. Both sides of the ball. I thought offensive-wise we had it clicking. We're really playing at a pretty high level. Blake was good. He was making all the right reads, and then defensive-wise we were really good too. So I agree. That was probably our best game where both sides of the ball were at a pretty elite level. And, when you looked at the points per possession, it kind of matched what I thought, after the game. And it was one of our lower defensive points per possession, not nearly as low as the Northern Illinois game. But, but it was also, we had one of our higher offensive points per possession. That's when you get a score like 96-69, you played pretty well. So I think, after that game, I was really confident with where we were going. Hopefully our offense can pick back up again. Bowling Green's playing really well too, but hopefully we can go in there and get our offense rolling again, kind of like we had at Ball State and like it was before. So, I'm happy with the way things are going. Guys got to keep their attitudes right, and this deal's fragile though. You can look great one night, and for whatever reason, next game you come out, if guys aren't ready to play and everybody's not staying hungry, it can get away from you in a hurry. Just like you can get it back. So right now we've got it rolling. Our confidence is pretty good. We just got to, keep on the guys in practice. They got to keep an edge. They got to stay in the gym. They got to keep working on their game. And we got to stay hungry on the defensive end with a lot of energy. And I like the way we're headed. But yeah, the Ball State game I think showed a lot of people what we're capable of doing, because they were, I believe at the time, they were all alone in second place in the entire conference. Now it's a big log jam there in the middle. After Akron. So, we just got to keep winning some games and stay ahead of everybody.
Well, Coach, we're going to talk more about Bowling Green And then the rematch with the Central Michigan Chippewas. We'll talk about the first meeting, and then we'll talk about the rematch that will be on Tuesday. But right now, a quick break. You're listening to UB Basketball Insider from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill.
This month at Town BMW, lease a 2017 BMW 320i X-Drive sedan for $289 per month. Only $289 per month. Call 505-2100, 505-2100, or stop by 8215 Main Street in Williamsville today.
Town BMW is proud to be the official auto partner of UB Athletics and offers special pricing to UB students and employees.
Pricing, performance.
We got this, Coach. Join our hometown team and let's have a winning season.
We love our town.
From U Sports to the NFL, A-Turf synthetic grass fields are helping athletes have fun and perform at their peak. More than 30 Western New York schools and over 400 schools nationwide call A-Turf their home field. It's what the UB Bulls play on and the Buffalo Bills too. A-Turf Titan has the highest safety rating and the longest warranty. A-Turf, optimal performance for athletes, superior value for owners. Learn more at aturf.com. It's double the fun at Alumni Arena Saturday, February 18th when the UB men and women's teams host conference opponents. The excitement starts at 1 p.m. with the women taking on Akron. The men's team will celebrate 100 years of Bulls basketball when they face Miami at 3:30 p.m. One ticket gets you into both games, so make Alumni Arena the place to be on Saturday, February 18th. For tickets, call 1-877-UB-THERE.
Join us at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Hey, it's Paul Santora letting you know we have two great locations. One on Millersport Highway next to the Marriott, one on Transit Road next to Transit Lanes. We've got 60 taps, 66 TVs. All of our food is made to order with the freshest and most natural ingredients. Both locations have live music, Millersport on Friday, Transit Friday and Saturday night. There's no better place to enjoy football and hockey, with great drink and food specials for every game. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill since 1927, 4 generations strong, the only family to say we are the original. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Great food, great people, great beer.
Welcome back to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 1520. Live from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, this is the Bulls Digital Network UB Basketball Insider. Now, here's Brian Wolf.
Back here at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, the UB men will begin a 2-game road trip on Saturday. We should let you know the UB women will be home on Saturday afternoon. They will face the Northern Illinois Huskies at 2 o'clock at Alumni Arena. Northern Illinois, the leaders in the Mid-American Conference right now, and the Bulls will be hosting them on Saturday afternoon. Tickets are on sale at the UB box office. But the Bulls go on the road, the men's team, for 2 in a row, an extended road trip, which we haven't really had to talk about since November, but 2 straight on the road here, and then a pretty friendly schedule for the last 5 games, 4 of the last 5 at home after this 2-game road trip. But that will start on Saturday at Bowling Green, a 12 o'clock start, so that'll be 11:30 a.m. pregame right here on ESPN 1520. Josh Wetzel on the call. And, Coach, Bowling Green, the last team in the Mid-American Conference that you guys have not seen yet this year. What have you seen from BG on film? As you mentioned, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They won in overtime at Kent State on Tuesday. They had a double overtime win at home against Toledo this past Saturday, which is their big rival. What have you seen from Bowling Green on film?
You know what? They're playing well. They're athletic. They play hard. They're deep. They're deeper than we are. I mean, they're playing, I think, about 10 guys, 15 minutes or more, and nobody's really playing, I think, more than maybe 27, 28 minutes. So the scoring comes from a lot of different areas. You know, they've got a couple good freshman guards that are playing well for them. Got some athletic bigs. Big kid inside Wiggins. They got a 4-man that's, you know, he's similar. I mean, he plays different than Blake, but he's somewhere in that he's like more like a 3 playing the 4. That's their leading scorer. That kind of been a matchup problem for some other people. But you know, I think Elsa Gary's the kid's name. But I think you know, with us starting Blake that spot, hopefully Blake can do a decent job with it. And he's going to have to do a good job on defense. You know, we rely a lot on Blake on the offensive end. He's going to have a great defensive game against that kid. Keep him out of the lane and just, you know, hold him down a little bit. You know, this team's not a great shooting team. They're probably a little bit better shooting team than Northern Illinois, but it's not like we're playing Central or Akron or even Ball State. You know, they're more driving, getting in the lane, post-ups, a lot more like similar to Northern Illinois. I think they play a little more loose and, you know, and Northern Illinois is maybe a little more defensive oriented, and these teams, they're both athletic, tough teams that, you know, that cause some problems. So we're gonna have to play well. I mean, shoot, one of these teams at the end of the game is gonna be on a 4-game winning streak. It's, you know, somebody's 3-game winning streak's gonna be broke. So we've got to play well, and you know, hopefully it's us that's 1-4 at the end of that, because it's a big game. Like you said, we've got, after these next 2 road games, 4 of our last 5 are at home. Like if we could, you know, manage to pull these 2 road games off, we'd put ourselves in a great spot heading into the home stretch here, going into the MAC tournament. So to me, this is a big game for us right here.
Well, and especially as we've talked about right now, you're talking about 5 teams that are sitting at 6-5. You have a few more teams sitting at 5-6, including Bowling Green. So they're looking to get into that logjam at 6-6, and you know, to try and not just secure a home game, but to get one of those buys into Cleveland, because you know, right now those 2, 3, 4 seeds, they're up there for the taking. I think for you know, last I looked, basically every team except, I mean, Akron's, you know, they got that big lead at first, and then you have Miami with 2 wins, but everyone else there, 2 through 11, you're talking about a 2-game gap between the 2nd and the 11th seed.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a little bit like last year, to be honest with you. We all came all the way down to the last week. We had to have some dominoes fall for us in the right direction, and we ended up with that 3 seed, which was big, and you know, we ended up winning it as the 3 seed. So, you know, that's what I've talked about with our guys. Like, let's just be playing our best basketball here in the last month of the season, and you know, let's just keep knocking them off one at a time. The seeding will take care of itself. You know, if we could end up with a 2 or a 3 seed, you know, I think that'd be great. That's what we, you know, 2 years ago we were 2 seed and won it. Last year we were 3 seed and won it. You know, if we can get either of those, you know, I think I'd be happy with where we're at. And then, you know, that would mean we'd be seeing Akron in the championship if we can make it that far. And I like our chances there. So I think it's big. You know, like Bowling Green's going to be in that mix. You know, we talk about teams that are in that mix. We need to have the tiebreakers over them. So, you know, I think, you know, we only played Northern Illinois once. We got the tiebreaker with them. You know, Central Michigan is going to be in that deal. We've beat them once. If we beat them again, you know, we'd be 2-0 on them. You know, we're 1-1 with Ball State, but there's, you know, we got to just keep winning games. We got to be playing our best basketball, and if we are playing our best basketball, I think the winning will take care of itself. And you know, it's going to be an interesting finish in the conference. I think that's what makes MAC play so exciting. You know, you never know who's on any given, like you said, like Miami's only got 2 wins, but you know, we went down there and didn't play well. They beat us, but they played at the end of last year. They beat Akron, you know, who was the 1 seed. They beat us, and we were 3 seed. You know, they started playing well at the end. So even though they're in last place, like they're not a gimme game either. There's none, and Akron's in first place, like you said, all alone. But shoot, we had a chance to beat them. Came down to a referee's call in the end. I mean, they've Northern Illinois had them down 20, ended up losing to them. But you know, they're not just running over everybody. So it's a pretty tight league right now.
Well, then you go from Bowling Green, you head to Central Michigan, a team that, as you mentioned, the Bulls beat 101-91 back on January 31st. Kind of a real exciting basketball game. I don't know how exciting it is as a coach, you know, when that many points are put up. I mean, I guess as long as you're on the winning end, it's good. But you know, talk to us what you remember from that Central Michigan game. Obviously, Marcus Keene, the nation's leading scorer, we'll say held him to 24 points, 7 of 21 shooting. He had 7 turnovers. Talk to us about that game and what you guys were able to do against Keene and against Braylon Racing, guys that are just dynamic shooters.
You know what? I mean, Keene and Racing are going to shoot shots. That's the bottom line. I mean, you know, I thought we did a pretty good job defensively. They still ended up with 49 between the 2 of them. So, you know, and just came out. Keene's in they trimmed the Wooden Award, you know, the College Basketball Player of the Year award list down to 20, and he's in that 20. So he's obviously having a heck of a year. So, you know, we've just got to do a good job making him take really forced, contested shots. He's still going to take them. But, you know, he shot 7 of 21 last game. Well, 7 of 21 is not that great, you know. So if he wants to fire up, you know, another 20 to 25 shots, and if we can hold. So when you say you held somebody at 24, I don't know that, you know, didn't really hold him. But, yeah, he's going to fire up a lot of shots. And if you can hold him 6 points under his average, that's not the worst thing in the world. Now, we got to do a better job with, you know, just some of our coverages. We gave up too many easy ones to Luke Meyer, their center. was at a pretty high level that game. Hopefully, our offense, but like I've talked to our guys, we can't rely on our offense, putting up 100 points a game or 90 a game. Our defense has to be there for us. And then, how good we play on offense should just kind of help determine by what margin the victory. We need to keep our defense at a high level and get our offense back flowing.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the insides of the defense and some of those guys that are playing well defensively right after the break, but we're going to take a quick one here. You are listening to UB Basketball Insider.
Sedan for $289 per month. Only $289 per month. Call 505-2100, 505-2100, or stop by 8215 Main Street in Williamsville today.
Town BMW is proud to be the official auto partner of UB Athletics and offers special pricing to UB students and employees.
As the University of Buffalo's technology solutions provider, ComDoc worked together with UB to develop a comprehensive program by consolidating print resources and implementing initiatives that reduce waste. Choose the winning team and visit comdoc.com or call 716-689-0200.
Join us at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Hey, it's Paul Santora letting you know we have two great locations. One on Millersport Highway next to the Marriott, one on Transit Road next to Transit Lanes. We've got 60 taps, 66 TVs. All of our food is made to order with the freshest and most natural ingredients. Both locations have live music, Millersport on Friday, Transit Friday and Saturday night. There's no better place to enjoy football and hockey with great drink and food specials for every game. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill since 1927. 4 generations strong, the only family to say we are the original. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Great food.
Women's teams host conference opponents. The excitement starts at 1 p.m. with the women taking on Akron. The men's team will celebrate 101-877. You be there.
Welcome back to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 1520. Live from Santora's Pizza
Pub and Grill. This is UB Basketball Insider. I am Brian Wolf, joined by the head coach of the UB Bulls, Nate Oates. The Bulls heading on the road for 2 straight, beginning on Saturday at Bowling Green, a 12 o'clock start, 11:30 a.m. on the pregame show, and then the Bulls will head to Dante Carruthers. He's joined he's part of the starting lineup. He's unbelievable defensively. He obviously leads you guys in charge is taken. Just, what is it?
High-scoring guard. In high school, he's, scored it pretty well as a freshman down at Midland, but he's kind of find his niche here as, just a tough, kind of gritty, in-your-face type defender that's, going to create havoc on the other team's better guards, and he's done a good job with the role, really. He's, he's strong, so he doesn't get pushed off that much, and he'll stand in there and take a charge, but he's quick enough. He can stay in front of guards. He's got decent enough size. It's, it's not like he's one of those midget guys or, like a water bug that guys can post up because he's strong enough they can't do that. And, I mean, he's just, Ball State's coach during the broadcast was kind of talking about it. It was a good comparison. I thought it was good, give Dante a little confidence. Even talking about him being one of those lockdown corners that just kind of take out one side of the field in football. He is one of those guys. You'd start with, we were talking about this morning with Bowling Green. We're talking about matchups. All right, well, let's start with who we're going to put Dante on, and we'll work off from there. Like, who do we want to take out? Who do we want to really lock down, and let's put Carruthers on him and figure out everybody else from there. So it's been big for our team, and it kind of gives us. We've got a hard hat, like a blue hard hat that we've got some UB logos that kind of a friend of the program's kind of got us that we've kind of, we call it blue collar points. We kind of give points for deflection, steals, rebounds. So we give them 4 points for a charge, 2 points for diving on the floor for loose balls. Just kind of all the gritty toughness stuff that you can kind of substantiate, record, come up with a number for, and we give that hard hat out at the end of the game. So Carruthers has typically been the guy getting it. He got it last game. Blake got it the game before with picking up 3 charges. So, and Blake's been pretty good with getting deflections. He's not like the lockdown defender, Dante is per se, but he's been good on the help side and good with getting deflections, and he'll step over and take a charge. He took the 2 charges on House, which were big in the Ball State game. So, Dante's been good, and I think even someone like Devontae Jordan's starting to pick up his D. He's realized he's not going to play if he doesn't play any defense. He's got the skills too, and he's started to figure it out and kind of study what we're doing on defense, and he's been picking it up too. And then CJ and Willie were both all defensive team last year, and so, those guys are both capable of doing it as well. So I think we've got a decent defensive team when guys bring it with the mental focus as well as their physical effort.
And I think one of the things that you talked about, especially with Devontae Jordan, is you just got a recent addition that I know you think is really going to help out Devontae's game this year and into next year, and that's the addition of Wes Clark, the transfer from Missouri that played for you at Romulus. Talk to us a little bit about Wes and why you decided to bring him to Buffalo.
You know what, Wes is a tough kid. I mean, he's one of my most favorite kids that coach there. He's a winner. He's skilled. I mean, he was top 50 coming out of high school. He's a really talented kid, and they had coaching changes at Missouri, and it just didn't work out. And they weren't that good after the coaching change, and he's just not a kid that handles losing well. He's not a bad kid, but he needs to be. He brings winning to the table. So he's here. He's sitting his year out in residency. He'll be able to play next year, and I felt like we needed it. We needed a little extra play, and it's good. He's got 1 year left. He can kind of help mentor some. Him and Devontae are already getting to be pretty cool and friends, and he can help bring some of our younger guards along, and he can play with them. And we've got some pretty good guards coming in as freshmen next year that he can kind of help mentor and kind of hand it off to them. And I think it'll help CJ not having to, because right now Blake's playing the one for us a lot, and Blake's leaving, so we really need somebody to step in and take that spot. And I know Wes. There's nobody I could recruit better than Wes out there. I know him well. He knows me. I just thought it was a good fit, so I'm happy he's here with us, and I think the guys are really starting to enjoy. He's been great in practice. He's a scout team point guard, and gives us a great look. There's no point guards in our league better than him right now, in my opinion. So he's been great on the scout team, and he just got to get back in shape and get his game back where I know it can be and where he wants it to be, and have a great year for us next year.
The timeline when you were at Romulus between Wes, Raheem, and Christian Pino, did they all play together at one point? And I think just two of them were part of the state championship team.
Yeah, so Wes was a senior when we won the state championship. Pino was also a senior. Raheem had graduated the year before. We went to the Final Four the year before that. Raheem and Ray Lee were seniors that year. So Raheem didn't win a state championship, but Raheem, Ray, Pino, Wes, EC, they all played together. That would have been Wes and EC's junior year, and actually Pino sat that year out. He got hurt, but then we won it then with Wes and EC and Pino and a kid that went to Youngstown State. Another Leo Edwards that's at Kent State was on the team as a senior. He went to Louisiana Tech first, and then the kid Jalen Walker was a sophomore that year. He's at Kent State now. So a lot of guys in our league were on that state championship team with Romulus, and Wes went to Missouri. EC went to Rhode Island, had a great career. So they had some pretty good players come out of there. I'm happy to have a couple, 3 of them here now with me. Hopefully, Wes can bring some of that winning out here with us, and we've been doing a pretty good job winning here ourselves. So I think he's a good addition for us.
Well, it's great to have him here. Nate, best of luck on Saturday at Bowling Green and Tuesday at Central Michigan. Then we'll talk to you next Thursday before that 4 out of 5 at home. But that's going to do it for us here from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. You were listening to UB Basketball Insider. Have a good night.
You've been listening to UB Basketball.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
By our Team UB partners, New Era Cap.